What is up, everybody, and welcome to In Soccer We Trust. I'm Jimmy Conrad, your favorite former U.S. men's national team player. We're talking with your favorite current U.S. men's national team player, Jordan Morris. He's joining us, Seattle Sounders star as well. Jordan, great to see you as always. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing great. It's great to see you as well.
I know that's I paid you to say that. I appreciate you coming in and being very kind to me. Okay, so let's talk about you in particular. You spent a long time on the sidelines with unfortunate ACL injury. Now you returned to the U.S. men's national team roster earlier this year and came off the bench in all the last three qualifiers. You have also recently scored in MLS and the Concacaf Champions League. So how close are we to seeing Jordan Morris back to 100%, or are you already there?
No, I don't think, quite there. I remember coming back from the last one. It takes a little bit of time, but obviously getting back with the national team and having a couple goals under my belt gives me a lot of confidence moving forward. I think there's still little things I need to keep working on coming back from a long-term injury like that. So definitely, don't feel like I'm quite at 100%, but feeling really good and just excited to be playing again.
So tell me about why you're not at 100%. Do you think it's physical or do you think it's mental because of the fear that you might have that if you make a certain movement that you could get injured again? You have to kind of work through that process. And obviously, since you've been hurt a couple times, you know that it's a lonely road when you're injured to try to get back to full health.
Yeah, for sure. It's not a fun road at all to get back mentally and physically. I don't think the in terms of being 100%, it's definitely not a fear of injury. I feel like I'm stronger than I was before the injury, and all the work that I put in. I know that being back on the field, all that work that I put in is going to prevent future injuries from happening. So it's not really the thought of just little things that come from being away from the game for so long, and I think it's just a process of getting more reps, more game time, and all that will come. But I don't. It's definitely not like a fear of another injury or anything like that.
I love to hear that. That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside because we want you to be at 100% as soon as humanly possible. And it's just match sharpness, I think, is what I'm picking up that you're
Yeah.
putting down. So speak to me about the guys, or do you stay in contact with the guys that are on the national team that are currently hurt? So your Christian Pulisic went through a spell with his ankle. We got Gio Reyna, who's been out kind of in and out and now trying to get back to full health. We got Weston McKennie, who's out. Is there a conversation that's happening anywhere on WhatsApp or anything about, hey, guys, I went through this as well, keep your head up type stuff? Or what is that like? Are you trying to help anybody out there that has any injury concerns?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely it's always great to reach out to someone who's going through something similar. And I know that people who reached out to me that went through something similar, it makes a big difference. I think a guy that I talked to a lot throughout the year was Aaron Long, going through a long-term injury. Both obviously a national teammate of mine and a good friend. And I think he was a guy that we would talk and kind of commiserate in some ways going through those long-term injuries last year. It's a lonely road, like you said, and so to have someone to talk to, especially a friend like that and a teammate that understands what you're going through, is really important. So it's been great to see him back playing really, really well, and it was just not nice to have him to talk to last year.
No, I definitely think that's key, having someone to lean on in those tough moments, because what I remember about being hurt is the team just moves on without you. And you're like, wait, I'm super important to this. I thought I was necessary. I was a vital cog, and you're just moving on without me. And if the longer that injury is, the harder that is. So I appreciate the road that you've taken to come back on multiple occasions. And obviously having Aaron Long come back too is super important. Now, I want to bring up this injury thing because when we didn't qualify for 2018, you were hurt for that game or those games leading up to Trinidad. How hard was it for you to not be able to participate, given that you had been participating up until that point, to see us obviously have one of our biggest failures in recent years?
Yeah, of course it was difficult. As a player, you always want to the field or on a team to be a part of that. And of course, it was just a really unfortunate game and an unfortunate situation. So it was really difficult watching from home, of course, and a sad moment and obviously a really tough moment for all of U.S. soccer. But we're gonna push forward, and we have some big games coming up to right that ship, and I'm just excited for what's to come.
Okay, great. Well, let's segue into the games that are coming up. Your first goal ever for the U.S. men's national team was against Mexico in a friendly when you were still a senior at Stanford, which is awesome and probably a fantastic memory for you. My only goal for the U.S. men's national team was against Mexico. So we're kindred spirits here, Jordan Morris. Okay, so I'm glad you brought up looking forward, because let's segue into the games that we have coming up, Mr. Jordan Morris. Now, you scored your first ever goal for the national team against Mexico. I scored my only goal for the U.S. men's national team against Mexico, which makes us kindred spirits for sure. Are you excited to play Mexico, who we've beaten 3 consecutive times in different competitions over the last year, in this window? Because this is a difficult window. We need a good result to really kind of set the tone for the rest of how everything's going to play out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm incredibly excited. I think it's a really good opportunity for us. We had some, really good results against them last year, of course, and to be able to play at the Azteca in that atmosphere, it's always an amazing experience. So I know obviously it's going to be a difficult window, a difficult game, but I know the team's really obviously up for it, really excited, and just looking forward to the challenge.
Okay, is there any kind of talk or discussion about what happened leading up to 2018 and not qualifying as it seeped into how you and the other players are talking, or from Greg Berhalter, the coach? I mean, is there any of that going on, or are you just kind of taking it one game at a time?
No, I think just taking it one game at a time, and I think we have to push past that and know that obviously we're going to right the ship this window and qualify. And I think any thoughts of that is gone. And like you said, just taking it one game at a time. We know that it's 3 obviously good opponents coming up, but we're really confident in ourselves and what we can do. And I think, like I said, we're just really excited for the challenge and the opportunity.
But you're going to be nervous, right? I'm nervous for you guys. I mean, I know that you have control over the situation, so you're probably less nervous. I remember playing and thinking, it's fine. I've played in the World Cup, played in qualifiers. It's all good. I've been in these big games, these big moments. I can take a deep breath and get after it and just concentrate on what I can focus on. But for all of us sitting here at home, we're nervous, Jordan. I just want to say it right to you right now. I'm a little anxious. I'm a little nervous. And can you say something right now to just relax me?
I think I think if I'm going to say, all the guys are really confident, the team's really confident. Like I said, we're really we know that things are gonna go well, and we're gonna perform well. And I think, again, just excited for the challenge of these games. But I understand that, and as a player, I think obviously you step out in these big games and you have the butterflies, you have the jitters, of course, because they're really important and they're really meaningful. But it's an incredible honor and opportunity, like, of course, and we're just really, we're really confident. So.
Well, and I'm thrilled that you're representing our country and you're representing all of us here at home. So we wish you obviously the best of luck in this upcoming window. Now let's focus on the domestic league. Let's talk about the Seattle Sounders. Now, I went to the 2019 MLS Cup final in Seattle when you guys beat Toronto FC, and I got this hat outside of the stadium, the 2019 MLS World Cup champion hat. A collector's item if I've ever seen one, Jordan Morris.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about why you guys couldn't score initially in MLS, but could only score in the Concacaf Champions League, and then exploded on the LA Galaxy recently. You've scored goals both in the Champions League and in MLS now. How are you feeling about the Sounders' upcoming season and your role within the team?
Yeah, feeling really good. Obviously, I think, we add a piece like Albert to an already incredibly talented team. And of course, there's going to be a lot of expectations right from the get-go. And I think we put a big emphasis on Champions League this year. So a couple games, we rotated some guys, no excuses, of course, but we rotated some guys, and we're coming off kind of midweek games. And so maybe we weren't playing up to our best, but I think we're putting a lot of emphasis on the Champions League. And, it showed. We've had some really good games, and we have to finish off this leg with Lyon tomorrow to hopefully move forward to the semifinals. But I think that's been a big emphasis for us. So maybe partly explains the slow start in MLS, but again, it's not an excuse, and we know that those first 2 games weren't good enough. So it was great to get a result against Galaxy.
Well, it's nice to see that you guys are focusing on the CONCACAF Champions League, because you've won every other trophy that you can win in MLS, the US Open Cup, and all that good stuff. How important would it be for the Sounders to be the first MLS team to win the CONCACAF Champions League, since the Galaxy did it back in 2000?
Incredibly important. I think we want to write our name in history. And like you said, every year we're challenging for trophies. We want to win MLS Cup, Support Shield, everything. We feel like we have the talent to do that. We know how difficult it is, but this is the one that the club doesn't have. And so to be, that MLS team to win it and to add that trophy to the history of this club would be incredibly special. So we're we're really excited. We're looking forward to the game tomorrow and hopefully moving on to the semifinals.
Okay, let's speak about you individually. I remember before I started every season, I would write down goals and I'd tape it at the back of my mirror and I'd look at it every morning when I got up. And some of them were realistic, like, hey, I want to score 3 goals for a center back. Not too bad for a season. And I'd usually attain that more often than not. And one of them was, I wasn't even in the national team yet. And one of them was start a World Cup qualifier. And I did that. So sometimes I had these really far reaching goals. What do you have on your mirror as terms of goals that you want to achieve? Let's say maybe not national team related, because I assume playing for the U.S., making the World Cup, I got all that. Hopefully banging in the goals there. Yeah. But what about domestically for the Sounders? Are you trying to get the 10, 15 goals? I mean, what would be a successful season in your eyes?
Yeah, so I definitely do the same. I write my goals down. To be honest, I like to keep those a little bit to myself.
Sure, I get it.
Numbers and stuff like that, but I set pretty lofty goals for myself. And, I think every time, before games or things like that, I like to look at them to remind me about what those goals were. And I actually made kind of my goal sheet for this year on the way down to have surgery last year because I was just like trying to push forward and look forward and give myself some sort of, hope and something to look forward to, So I remember working on those on the plane ride down to kind of try to give myself some hope moving forward. But yeah, definitely some lofty goals as a team. I think for me, number one would be winning the Champions League. Like you said, it's something we don't have and something we really want. So I think that would be up there close to number one.
Well, hopefully getting interviewed by Jimmy Conrad and In Soccer We Trust was on that list as well, Jordan Morris. Now, last question before we let you go and obviously concentrate on all the big games you have coming up for both club and country. Talk to us about what you do with your work with your foundation and the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation and all the great stuff that you're doing off the field.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think growing up as a diabetic, I always looked at, different athletes that had type 1 and used them as inspiration to kind of say, if they can make it in their respective fields, why can't I? But I wasn't ever able to talk to them or hear their story or answer their questions. And so when I turned pro, I kind of made that my goal, that I would be available for younger diabetics to talk to and to hopefully use as inspiration and to just, form a relationship with these young diabetics, because I know how important that would have been for me as a kid growing up, just to have some type of hope, especially newly diagnosed kids. It can be pretty scary. So that was kind of the basis around the foundation. We do a lot with just meeting with kids and talking to them. And like I said, hopefully giving them some inspiration moving forward and letting them know that diabetes can't hold them back from getting to where they want to go. So it's been super rewarding for myself and my family as well. And we just look forward to what it brings in the future.
Well, you're an inspiration to all of us, Jordan Morris. Thank you for being you. And thank you for being our first ever player interview on In Soccer We Trust.
I appreciate it, man. No worries.